Welcome to One on One with Mitch Lafon. Joining me on this episode, it is solo recording artist BLAZE BAYLEY. We talk about his upcoming Trinity tour with Geoff Tate and Tim Ripper Owens, his latest album, Infinite Entanglement, working with IRON MAIDEN, Wolfsbane, the book he's writing on, and so much more. Please, before checking out BLAZE, check me out on Twitter at Mitch Lafon, MITCHLAFON, One on One Mitch Lafon on Facebook, and paypal.me/Mitch Lafon should you care to support the podcast. I also have a YouTube page. Please check that out. And now, here is the one, the only, BLAZE BAYLEY. We are speaking with singer BLAZE BAYLEY. Good day, BLAZE. Always a pleasure.
Hello. How's the weather there?
It's gorgeous. It's about 28 degrees Celsius and sunny, so you can't complain.
That sounds great.
Doesn't it, though? Where are you right now? Or how is the weather?
I'm at home in England on a rare day. I've been all over the place lately, but I'm in England and it's very, very grey, but it's not cold or raining, thank goodness.
Well, you'll be over in Canada and Montreal in about a couple of weeks, actually, in September, and the weather should still be very nice. We should still be in the mid-20s with sun by then, so you're coming at the good time.
Really looking forward to the tour.
Yeah, so let's start there. What can fans expect on this tour? Is it sort of more of Infinite Entanglement, or is it a greatest hits with some of the IRON Maiden stuff? Is it acoustic? Is it just
this tour is more of the greatest hits, and what we're doing is gradually building up. Infinite Entanglement is doing really, really well, and this tour will be the greatest hits with a couple of songs from Infinite Entanglement, and then what I'm hoping to do is from next year take my European band that I write with and record with and bring them to Canada next year as well. So this is one of the last times I'll be coming using the local musicians. I always enjoy working with the guys there, and we had a lot of fun on the last tour, so I'm really excited to work with them again. But this will be one of the last times that I'm there with the Canadian musicians. Next time it will be the guys that I actually record the album with.
Yeah, and that makes a huge difference in terms of the sound and the performance, because you sort of get in the pocket or comfortable with the band that you record with, obviously.
Yeah, we do. We do around 35 shows around Europe, and that is, we really start to bring the songs to life. That's the main thing I'm trying to achieve when I do these things, is I want to bring the songs to life. I want to make what's on the album. I'm not trying to make the song exactly the same as the album. I'm trying to make the song a live song for you at the show, and that's the
prime objective.
Goal.
Right.
Yeah, that's the goal that I have, and most times it works. You listen to the album, that's something to listen to. It's got a lot of details on it, but the songs are written all to play from a live perspective, and we rehearse them live, as we rehearse them as a set before we record them. So I hope that makes sense to people, and there's a lot of people who didn't get to see me last time, that weren't aware of the tour. So I'm really hoping to reach out to a lot more of my Canadian fans this time. I enjoyed it so much last time I was there, and I'm very, very excited about coming back.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. In fact, the last time that you were here, you played a place called the Fufun Electrique in Montreal, and I had a chance to go see it, and I was just incredibly amazed how it all came together. Your voice, the stage presence, the songs. I remember speaking to you back then, and you were telling me that the tour and your organization, the management, it's really very much a family business, and when somebody bought a CD from you, it really it paid for the electricity, it paid for the gas, it paid for food on the table. Is that still the same situation where it's very much a family-run business, or have you reached out? Okay.
Well, I'm very, very lucky that I'm able to make a living as a professional musician. It's not so common, really. There are thousands and thousands of people who dream of being a professional musician and making their living from music. And I'm outside of the mainstream. I'm a small independent artist, and it's my own record label, and I do everything with a very small team of people, and I managed to make a living, and that is because of the direct support of my fans. There's a lot of times my CDs aren't available in shops, and when people come and buy them from the show and buy my T-shirts, that's what keeps me going. And the great news is that the Infinite Entanglement album has almost sold more than all of my other albums now. It's doing really well, and on downloads, we've had more downloads of Infinite Entanglement than all of my solo albums put together. So it's really going well, and that direct support that I get from my fans is something I really cherish, and I think I'm lucky to have it. I think when you're in the mainstream music business, then it's very easy to forget that you are supported by fans. You don't get to meet your fans so much, and I don't think people value their fans. For me, I always try to do a free meet and greet at every headline show that I do. If it's a BLAZE Bayley headline show, then I try to do a free meet and greet to everyone, so I can personally thank every one of my fans. And that's something that I look forward to doing every time. And I'm just very grateful, really, that I've got so much fantastic support. And I didn't even know that I would be able to come back to Canada. And the fans there have supported me so much, they're making it possible for me to come back.
Yeah, and that's an important point that you make, because I remember the days of standing at the back of a venue waiting for the rock star to walk out, and you get a picture, you get an autograph, and there was something unique and special about that. Now it's almost become a perversion where it's $1,200, it's $700, and you go, really? I bought your albums, I'm at the show, I bought the T-shirt, and now just to get a handshake, I got to spend $1,200? I mean, do you find that to be a perversion too, or is it just part of the business?
It's just nothing to do with me. When at all my headline shows, a part of it is the meet and greet, and it's very important to me to meet my fans. If I'm supporting or I'm part of something else, then I can't do that. But at all of my headline shows, then that's it. I never charge for a meet and greet, and well, yeah, that's it. And I always trying to make time to do it. Then when on my South American tour, then I managed to do a meet and greet after every show. And one of them was 500 people. And I still managed to sign for every fan and have a photo with everybody that wanted a photo. So that's the way I like to do things. If I have the chance to do that, then that's what I do. It's a weird thing, this whole paying for meet and greet, but why that is because CD sales and the revenue stream that many bigger artists have counted on has disappeared or changed radically. So now to perform live is your main revenue. Years ago, CDs would have been for big artists. It's never been for me, but for big artists, then your CD revenue could eclipse what you earned from a live tour, and that has changed now. So now for me, as a live artist, someone who goes out and performs my song all over, then then it makes no difference really, because my income from my live performances has always been the main thing. But for these other guys who are used to all these big CD sales and millions of CDs, now that's gone down and they earn a fraction of what they used to from that. They have to maximise what they earn from the show. So what they do is they, find a way to get people to pay these large amounts for the meet and greet and all of that. I don't think it's right, but I'm in a different part of the music industry.
Yeah, and that's keeps you going. Now, you had with an Infinite Entanglement and Silicon Messiah and 10th Dimension, they were sort of based in science fiction and based in quantum physics and all that. You had told me back then that you were interested in writing some science fiction books or getting into book writing. Is that something that still interests you? Is that something that you're currently working on?
Yeah, the Infinite Entanglement is part of a trilogy.
Right.
So it's 3 albums, and they are all based on a book that I'm writing, a science fiction story. And all of the characters and all of the events and all of the songs are based on things that are in the book. And I'm gradually working my way through my book bit at a time to get it together. And the first album had a special elite fan pack that you could buy. I think it was the platinum one, and there you got the rough notes of the book included in the little magazine that came with it, and so the first part of it is there, and then there'll be a bit more to go with the next one. And hopefully by 2018, when we're scheduled to bring out the third album, then at the end of 2018, I'm hoping to have my book completely finished with all of the artwork and do it really, really nicely as the kind of final part of the trilogy. And then any of the songs that don't quite make sense to you, or you wonder what order things should be in, hopefully when you read the book, you will see, that idea comes from this chapter, or that's what he means when he was doing this, and things like that. So that's how I'm hoping it will work. So far, it's going really well, and people have been very excited about the idea. I've been a lover of science fiction from a very young age, and it's great to be able to bring that interest and my interest in cosmology and the universe and physics, to bring all these things together in a story and combine it with my love of metal music. It's been absolutely fantastic, and I've had so many great compliments about the new album Infinite Entanglement. It's just been absolutely brilliant. So I feel very, very lucky, and we've just started working now on the first new songs for the second part of the trilogy, and it feels really good. So it's great really to be in this situation. We have 3 more shows of the Infinite Entanglement tour, and we have one in Sweden where we're going to play the whole album start to finish, and we've got the opera singers and the narration and everything, and that's kind of the grand finale of the Infinite Entanglement tour.
Yeah, that's going to be a great tour. Now, once the book and project are complete, do you want to take it to that next step and see if you can get it to the big screen and get it into a movie project, or is that not something of interest where you just want to go, no, it's music and book and that's it?
Well, I think that's something you'll have to tell me at the end of it. when you've had when you've listened to the 3 albums, if you can stand to listen to all 3, if they're not, if they're good enough, if they're not absolutely boring you to tears. If you can listen to the 3 and the story excites you, then you tell me if you think it's worthy of a movie. The most important thing for me that is if it did get made into a movie, I definitely have to do the music for it. So I'm not really interested in acting in any movies, but I definitely do want to make sure that I do the music for a movie that's based on my idea.
Yeah, that would actually be fun to see. Your other band, Wolfsbane. What's the current status? I mean, I saw back in May that on the Facebook page it said they're working on a new album. Are we working on a new album, or are you still...
Yeah, bit by bit. It's just very difficult to get the three of us together in a room at the same time because everybody does different things. I'm really busy. I didn't expect Infinite Entanglement to be so successful, and I get a lot of requests for gigs and things. So it's just very difficult to get us together. We've got some ideas left over from the last thing that we did that we want to work up into full songs, and there's another couple of ideas for songs. I've got some lyrics ready. It's just literally getting together to write the songs and find a time to record it. So that's what we'll be trying to do.
So let me ask you, because you've got the solo career, Infinite Entanglement is doing well. You're coming to Canada. You're doing the Trinity tour with Ripper Owens and Geoff Tate. I mean, you've got stuff going on. What draws you back to Wolfsbane? Why not sort of keep the entire pie for yourself and just keep being the solo guy?
It's just so much fun. You know, we started off because it was fun, and it's completely selfish. But every time we do our Wolfsbane shows, you know, we feel like we're in our teens again. So we just love doing it. You know, whenever it's the original lineup and whenever the four of us get together, we make that sound. And that's what we all love about it. So yeah, we really enjoy it. It's just finding the time to do it. You know, I absolutely love doing it. I wish I could do a lot more of it.
Okay, well, that was going to be my next question then. If you do love it so much and you want to do more of it, is it simply because the other guys are busy with other jobs and other work and other bands, or what is preventing it?
Well, we're all busy.
Okay.
We're all busy. So it's, you know, most of my things get booked a year in advance. This Canadian tour has been booked for a really long time. So it's difficult to get everybody to be able to book or put their time together in advance. You know, everybody's busy with different, like everybody's got family. When you start off in a band, normally nobody's got kids. People live still with their mum and dad, and they've got very few serious commitments. And then you get older, you've got your own house, you've got kids, you know, you've got family commitments and different work and stuff like that. So it's just difficult, you know.
It gets to be a little complicated. So let's talk about this Trinity tour with Geoff Tate and Tim Ripper Owens. It is, unfortunately for us being in Canada, a short tour in November that only hits sort of upstate New York or the east coast of the States. Talk to me about how that came together, and is there any possibility that we might see some dates in 2017 or even 2018 where you guys will find time and make time for this?
Yeah, there's definitely a possibility. The only time that we had available was this very, very short window in November to do these dates, and it's with the idea that if these dates go well, if people are interested about it, then we can do a much more extensive tour, which encompasses Canada as well. So we'll have to see what happens next year. But we kind of just want to go, well, let's see how these few shows go and what the interest is and see if people really want to see it. So far, all the Facebook messages have been, oh, I really want to see it. Please come here. Please come there. So it's looking positive, but let's see what happens when we do those shows. It was, I think it was Geoff Tate's idea that he thought about it. I think he was on tour with with John Moyer from Disturbed was playing bass for him for a short while Disturbed were on a hiatus, and I think they were talking about things on the bus, and he mentioned my name, and then that he knew Ripper as well, and I think that's how the idea came together. And it's a great blend of three different voices, and I'm really excited about doing the tour. The times when I've worked with other singers like Paul Di'Anno, the other Iron Maiden singer, it's gone really well. I've done tours with Tim where we've done similar things, and it's gone really well. So I think this will be very, very special because it's three people that really love to sing and love this music, and I think it's going to be really, really good. So I'm very excited about it, and I hope it's a success. These shows in November are a success, and then we can bring it to Canada. That would be absolutely great.
Yeah, and I have to say, from a fan's perspective, I think it's going to be great because you are three unique voices with unique talent, and Geoff obviously has got the Queensryche stuff. I'm hoping Tim would do some of the Judas Priest stuff. I would hope that you would do your solo stuff and a couple of the Maiden songs, and you know, you get a night where you hear some Maiden, some Priest, and some Queensryche, you can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. That's the kind of thing that we're hoping to do. So we hope it goes well.
And I know that we had 20 minutes, so let me finish on this. You know, you did, of course, the X Factor and virtual, what do you call it, X1 with, or 11, I guess, with Iron Maiden. What did you bring to Iron Maiden? What was sort of the unique thing that you brought to the band? And because, you know, replacing Bruce Dickinson and all that, it must have been a very difficult spot. But so what did you contribute? What was sort of your legacy that you left when it was over with Maiden?
Well, my era is really the start of the progressive era, and there was no music written before I joined Iron Maiden. There was nothing ready for a new album. We started from scratch together, and Steve listened to my voice, and when he was writing, he wrote the songs with my voice in mind. And that's why I think things like Sign of the Cross and The Klansman turned out so well, and I did a lot of writing in the band. And I think those two albums really mark the change from what had come before on Somewhere in Time to a real dark progressive era. And everywhere that people like these dark, intense, emotional things, then that album is very popular. So that's it, really. It's a different voice. It's a different approach. You know, I loved being in Iron Maiden. I absolutely loved it. I was a big fan of the band before, and I love being a part of it and writing those songs and being in a band that doesn't have to compromise musically for anybody, that can write for themselves. That was something that I felt great about. It's something I've carried on into my own career. All of the things that I learned from Steve Harris. He's such a generous person when it came to songwriting, and he was a kind of mentor to me when I was in the band. And all of those things that I've learned, I've put into the songs and the music in my solo albums. So he's been a massive influence on my writing. But I think those albums now, it's 20 years ago, and fans who are getting into the band in recent times, when they go back and they find those albums, I think it's a bit of a surprise because the voice is so different to Bruce. And I get a lot of people come up to me with their new copies of the X Factor and Virtual 11 and to sign. So it's really fun, and there are some songs on those albums that mean a lot to people, and that's a really nice feeling for me.
Yeah, and it's interesting, like, because you mentioned that it's 20, 21 years, especially in the X Factor's case. as people have had a chance to sit on them for 20 years, there seems to be an appreciation for them. It's sort of like when you talk about Kiss and the Elder. When they first came out, people went, "Oh, this is not the Kiss I love," and people went, "Oh, it's not the Maiden I know." And now 20 years later, they go, "You know what? If we just judge it on the songs and on the music, this is pretty damn good." And it's got to feel rewarding, even if it might have taken some time to get there. But it's got to feel rewarding that fans have finally said, "You know what? This was really damn good."
Yeah, it is a really nice feeling when, people come up and they weren't around. Some of them weren't around at the time when those albums came out. And I have great comments. And some people who are really honest and say, well, I didn't like it at the time. And, I've had no choice but to go back and listen to them because I've listened to everything else to death. And when I've gone back and listened to them without that kind of emotional attachment of my favourite singers left my favourite band, then it's been something that I've started to understand. And it's a great feeling, really. Yeah. And I feel very, very privileged to have been a part of it and to be in that era, when there were so many changes in the industry and in the band itself, that I was a part of that. And I think that those records, those CDs will stand the test of time. And I think they'll always have that deeper meaning. And I'm really happy about that. It's very nice to meet fans who come up and say, well, it's still one of my favourite albums.
Yeah, and listen, I'll have to be honest, because music does have that emotional impact. When I first heard that, or I first heard the album of Judas Priest that had Tim on it, you go, that's not my Priest, that's not my Maiden. But now you look back and that sort of emotional attachment sort of goes away, and you go, you know what? That Man on the Edge song, God damn it, it's bloody brilliant. It's a great song.
Thanks, mate.
Were you, when you were with the band, real quick, did they make you feel like a member right from the get-go and you're part of this? Or was it like, hey, you're the new guy, just go sing and we'll tell you what to do?
No, we just, we started writing. We didn't do any shows. We started writing and we started getting the songs together, and we were being slagged off in the British press. All of us, they were saying that Maiden was dead. They were saying it was all over, that Maiden wouldn't survive without Bruce Dickinson and all of that. And then there was the things that Bruce was saying in the press at the time. We all felt like we were a band and we were up against it, really. And we had to do something pretty special. So, yeah. And obviously I was new, but... Right. I never felt excluded or anything. It was the same thing that I had been doing, just the intensity was absolutely incredible compared to what I've been doing in Wolfsbane.
Yeah, and I guess it changed your life as well in terms that all of a sudden overnight you became a known entity around the rock world.
No, I wasn't as famous in Iron Maiden as I was when I was in Wolfsbane when we started. So nobody really recognised me. Not so many fans recognised me. A lot of people still thought that it was Bruce Dickinson. They didn't even know the singer had changed. So that side of it didn't really change. It was just that there were so many more interviews to do. It was much more intense. And the tours were much longer, which I always dreamed of doing long tours. So the X Factor tour lasted over 9 months, and for me, it was just fantastic. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, that's great. And I know you mentioned recently in an interview that you would like to see Maiden do a show with all three of you. And, of course, from the fans' perspective, that would be a dream come true. Let's hope it happens.
Yeah, well, I think it's mainly for the fans, really. I just think it would be so much fun. And I can imagine the arguments raging afterwards about who's the best singer, just like they've raged for years and years. So I think it will be so much fun. And
Oh,
It's really
absolutely.
nice when a band of Maiden stature, when they go back and do something that is a bit nostalgic, I think fans really enjoy that. So Maiden are moving forward. They're always innovating. The albums that they've done recently have been really good, and they've done some really different things on there. But I think it just would be a lot of fun. And
Oh, it
when
would be fun.
Paul's well enough to do it, and I think it would be great. I don't think it will happen, but I would love it to happen.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but it would just be nice. One night in London, get all the cameras out there, make a Blu-ray out of it, just
Yeah,
one piece where everybody sings a couple of songs or whatever. Anyway, we can dare to dream, and there you go. Blaze,
yes.
always a pleasure. I look forward to the show in Montreal. You're also in Ottawa. I look forward to both of those, and thank you. Always a pleasure.
Okay, thank you very, very much. And if you could ask people, please visit my website, which is blazebayley.net. And thanks to everybody for all of their support and making it possible for me to come and visit Canada again.
Absolutely. Thank you, Blaze.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye. And there you have it, folks, my interview with singer Blaze Bayley. Please check out blazebayley.net and also on Facebook, official Blaze Bayley. And with that, I bid you a fond farewell. Please check me out on Twitter at Mitch Lafon, Facebook, one-on-one, Mitch Lafon, paypal.me, Mitch Lafon, and on YouTube, I am there, hiding in a corner. Bye for now. Cheers. Cheerio. Oh my.